Today, I want to remind you of two simple yet powerful truths. Never lose hope and never give up. Life doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes, it throws challenges our way that shake us to the core. There are moments when we feel broken, defeated, and lost. But remember this, your story doesn't end when life gets hard. It begins right there, in that struggle, in the choice to rise again. Hope is not a feeling we wait for. It's a decision we make. Even when everything seems dark, hope is the light we choose to carry within us. And no matter how small that light may seem, it's enough to guide us through the darkest night. You see, courage is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to keep moving forward despite fear, despite pain, despite the unknown. Giving up is easy. Anyone can surrender to circumstances, but holding on, believing, fighting, dreaming, that takes true strength. There will be times when people doubt you, when your own mind whispers lies that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not capable. Silence those voices. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am not defined by what happened to me. I am defined by how I rise from it. Every scar has a story. Every fall has a purpose. And every setback is a setup for a comeback. You were not born to give up. You were born to rise, to grow, to transform pain into power and fear into faith. So, if today you feel like giving up, don't. If today you feel like the weight is too heavy, breathe. Rest if you must, but don't quit. The world needs your story, your strength, your resilience. Never lose hope. Never give up. There will be times when people doubt you, when your own mind whispers lies that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not capable. Silence those voices. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am not defined by what happened to me. I am defined by how I rise from it. Every scar has a story. Every fall has a purpose. And every setback is a setup for a comeback. You were not born to give up. You were born to rise, to grow, to transform pain into power and fear into faith. So, if today you feel like giving up, don't. If today you feel like the weight is too heavy, breathe. Rest if you must, but don't quit. The world needs your story, your strength, your resilience. Never lose hope. Never give up. Challenges are a natural part of life, but they do not define who you are. Your response to them does. Hope is a conscious choice. Even a small spark can light the way through darkness. True strength lies in persistence, continuing even when everything tells you to stop. Failure is not the end. It's a stepping stone toward growth and transformation. Your pain can become your power if you choose to rise instead of surrender. Every person has a unique story. The world needs quitting silences that story before it's told. Challenges are a natural part of life, but they do not define who you are. Your response to them does. We often think that the most successful, inspiring, or happy people are the ones who have had it easy, who've never faced hardship, never had to struggle, never fallen down. But the truth is quite the opposite. The strongest people, the ones who shine the brightest, are usually those who've walked through the darkest valleys. What separates them from others is not that they were spared from pain, but that they chose how to respond to it. Life brings with it a full range of experiences. Some are beautiful and uplifting, while others are deeply painful. You may face rejection, failure, loss, illness, or loneliness. You may feel like the world is against you, like the ground beneath you is crumbling. But in those moments, the defining factor is not the situation, it's how you react to it. Your response, not your circumstance, shapes your destiny. Think about a seed planted deep in the soil. In darkness, buried under the weight of dirt, it seems lost. But it doesn't give up. It pushes through quietly, steadily, until one day it breaks the surface and reaches the light. Our challenges are like that soil. They are heavy, they surround us, they test us. But if we keep pushing forward with resilience, we too can rise. When we allow our challenges to define us, we limit our potential. We start to believe that we are our failures, that we are our pain, that we are our past. But we are not. We are the ones who can choose. Choose to heal. Choose to grow. Choose to rise again. There's a common myth that strength means being unaffected by hardship. That's not true. Real strength is about being vulnerable, honest, and still choosing to carry on. It's about looking your pain in the eye and saying, "You won't break me." It's about falling and choosing to stand up every single time, even if you stand up slowly, even if it hurts. Think about a seed planted deep in the soil. In darkness, buried under the weight of dirt, it seems lost. But it doesn't give up. It pushes through quietly, steadily, until one day it breaks the surface and reaches the light. Our challenges are like that soil. They are heavy, they surround us, they test us. But if we keep pushing forward with resilience, we too can rise. When we allow our challenges to define us, we limit our potential. We start to believe that we are our failures, that we are our pain, that we are our past. But we are not. We are the ones who can choose. Choose to heal. Choose to grow. Choose to rise again. There's a common myth that strength means being unaffected by hardship. That's not true. Real strength is about being vulnerable, honest, and still choosing to carry on. It's about looking your pain in the eye and saying, "You won't break me." It's about falling and choosing to stand up every single time, even if you stand up slowly, even if it hurts. In the end, challenges are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. They give you the opportunity to become someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. They show you what you're made of. So when life tests you, stand tall. Respond with courage. Respond with hope. And above all, remember, your response is your power. Hope is a conscious choice. Even a small spark can light the way through darkness. Hope is not just a feeling that magically appears in the absence of fear or sadness, it's a decision. It's a deliberate choice to believe in the possibility of something better, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. Hope is the quiet whisper that says, "Don't stop, keep going. Better days are coming." There will be seasons in life when it feels like nothing is going right. You may feel stuck, abandoned, overwhelmed, or lost. It could be the loss of someone you love, a failure that hits your confidence, or a dream that seems too far out of reach. In those moments, it's easy to give in to despair. It's easy to shut down, to give up, or to believe that things will never change. But that's exactly when hope matters most. You don't need to have all the answers to be hopeful. Hope isn't about being blindly optimistic or ignoring your reality. It's about recognizing that your current circumstances do not determine your final outcome. It's about finding a reason, no matter how small, to take one more step forward. Think of hope like a candle in the dark. Even the smallest flame can break through the deepest shadows. It doesn't eliminate all the darkness at once, but it gives you just enough light to take the next step. And that's often all you need, one step, then another, and another. Choosing hope doesn't mean you won't still feel pain. It doesn't mean things will immediately get better. But it means you're giving yourself a chance to rise, to heal, to grow. It means you're saying, "This moment does not define me. I will move through it. I will not stay here forever." Some of the most powerful stories of strength and resilience come from people who chose hope in the most hopeless of situations. They didn't have an easy path. Many of them faced unimaginable hardship. But their turning point came when they decided not to surrender to their suffering. They clung to the belief that something good could still come from their struggle. That choice made all the difference. Hope can be found in many places, in a kind word, in the sunrise after a long night, in a child's laughter, in the memory of a better time, or in the dream of a brighter future. It can be sparked by something as simple as someone saying, "I believe in you." Sometimes you may need to create your own hope. You might have to dig deep and remind yourself why you started, who you're doing it for, and what you still have left to give. Hope, in that sense, becomes an act of courage. It's a quiet rebellion against despair. It's choosing to believe that your story isn't over, that the next chapter might be the one that changes everything. And remember, hope is contagious. When you choose to be hopeful, you don't just help yourself, you also give strength to those around you. You become a light for someone else who may be walking through the same darkness. Your decision to hold on to hope can ripple out and inspire others to do the same. So when you feel like giving up, pause, breathe, look around you. There is always something, no matter how small, to be thankful for. There is always a reason to believe in something better. Even if all you can manage today is to whisper, "I'll try again tomorrow," that's enough. That's hope. In the face of uncertainty and struggle, choose hope. Let that small spark guide you. You are stronger than you think. And the light you carry within you is brighter than any darkness you face. True strength lies in persistence, continuing even when everything tells you to stop. When people think of strength, they often picture someone who never breaks, never cries, never stumbles. But real strength isn't loud. It doesn't always show up in dramatic victories or bold declarations. True strength is quiet, often invisible, and revealed in the simple yet powerful decision to keep going even when every part of you wants to stop. Persistence is the heartbeat of resilience. It is the voice that says, "Try one more time," after you've failed 10 times. It's the courage to show up again, to believe again, to take another step forward when your mind whispers, "It's useless." Life will test you. That's not a possibility, it's a guarantee. There will be moments when you are tired, discouraged, overwhelmed, and even broken. You may work hard and see no results. You may give your best and still feel like it's not enough. In these moments, the temptation to give up can feel strong, almost logical. But it is in these moments that your strength is revealed, not in achieving the goal, but in not giving up on it. Persistence doesn't require perfection. You don't have to get it right every time. You don't have to be fearless or flawless. You just have to be willing to try again, even if you failed yesterday. Willing to believe in something better, even if today feels unbearable. Think of the mountain climber who stumbles, falls, and bruises their hands and knees. Every step is a challenge. The air gets thinner. The peak feels unreachable. But what makes that climber strong isn't how fast they reach the top. It's their refusal to stop climbing. Strength is found in that decision to take another step, however small, however shaky. Often, we admire those who seem to have it all together. But behind every success story is a journey marked by failures, doubts, setbacks, and obstacles. What separates those who succeed from those who don't isn't luck, it's persistence. The ability to keep going when it's tough. The choice to continue even without applause, without validation, and sometimes without support. There's a quote that says, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." That courage is persistence. It's a daily act of strength. It's what turns dreams into reality and pain into purpose. And here's something important to remember. Persistence isn't about ignoring your feelings or pretending you're okay when you're not. It's about honoring your struggle and choosing to keep moving anyway. It's okay to rest. It's okay to cry. It's okay to slow down. But what's not okay is to let go of your belief in yourself and your vision. Every time you choose persistence, you're building something inside of you. You're developing patience, discipline, and a deep inner strength that no one can take away. You're becoming someone who doesn't fold under pressure, someone who can weather life's storms and come out stronger. You may not see progress right away, that's normal. Change takes time. Healing takes time. Growth takes time. But if you keep showing up, if you keep choosing to persist, you will get there. You will overcome. And when you look back, you'll realize that your persistence was not only worth it, it was what defined you. So no matter what life throws at you, keep going. If you're tired, rest, but don't quit. If you're scared, keep moving forward anyway. If you feel like no one believes in you, believe in yourself enough for everyone. True strength lies not in never falling, but in rising every single time you do. Failure is not the end. It's a stepping stone toward growth and transformation. Failure. It's a word that often makes people uncomfortable. From a young age, we're taught to succeed, to win, to be the best. And while there's nothing wrong with aiming high, many of us grow up believing that failure is something to be ashamed of, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is, failure is not the end of the road, it is often the beginning of something far greater. So no matter what life throws at you, keep going. If you're tired, rest, but don't quit. If you're scared, keep moving forward anyway. If you feel like no one believes in you, believe in yourself enough for everyone. True strength lies not in never falling, but in rising every single time you do. Failure is not the end. It's a stepping stone toward growth and transformation. Failure. It's a word that often makes people uncomfortable. From a young age, we're taught to succeed, to win, to be the best. And while there's nothing wrong with aiming high, many of us grow up believing that failure is something to be ashamed of, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is, failure is not the end of the road, it is often the beginning of something far greater. Failure is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you had the courage to try. Think about that for a moment. Every time you take a risk, every time you step outside your comfort zone and push towards something new, you invite the possibility of failure. But without taking that chance, without that possibility, there's no progress, no growth, no discovery. History is filled with people who failed not once, but repeatedly before they ever succeeded. Thomas Edison made over 1,000 unsuccessful attempts before inventing the light bulb. When asked about it, he didn't say, "I failed 1,000 times." He said, "I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways that won't work." That mindset is what transforms failure from something painful into something powerful. Each failure holds a lesson about what works, what doesn't, and most importantly, about yourself. Failure teaches resilience. It builds character. It exposes areas where we need to grow and gives us the chance to do so. Without failure, we would never know the strength of our determination or the depth of our creativity. But perhaps the most important thing to understand is this: failure doesn't define you. What defines you is what you do after you fail. Do you give up? Or do you stand back up, learn from the experience, and try again? Some people allow failure to become a full stop, an excuse to retreat. But those who achieve real success treat failure as a comma, a pause, a chance to breathe, reflect, and redirect. They use it to fuel their next move, wiser and stronger than before. Failure also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we're human, that perfection isn't the goal, progress is. It opens our hearts to compassion, especially for others who struggle. It makes us more grounded, more understanding, and more connected to the world around us. Think of failure as a bridge. Yes, it may be shaky and uncomfortable to cross, but on the other side lies growth, transformation, wisdom, new opportunities. Every failure is pushing you forward, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. So if you've recently failed, good, that means you tried. That means you're alive and in the game. Don't stop now, learn. adjust, and try again. The most beautiful chapters in your life story may begin right after the hardest page. Failure is not the end. It's simply one of the most valuable steps on the road to becoming who you're meant to be. Your pain can become your power if you choose to rise instead of surrender. Pain is something we all encounter in life. It comes in many forms: emotional, physical, mental, and at times, it can feel overwhelming. Whether it's the pain of loss, rejection, failure, or simply the weight of circumstances beyond your control, pain can make you feel small, broken, and defeated. But here's the truth that many people overlook: pain, when embraced and understood, can become your greatest source of power. Pain is not just suffering, it's a signal. It shows you what matters. It points to your passion, your vulnerability, your humanity. You hurt deeply because you care deeply. You feel the weight of loss because something once meant something beautiful to you. And that alone means there is something strong within you, the capacity to feel deeply, to love, to dream, to hope. But the key to turning pain into power lies in what you choose to do with it. You can let it crush you, or you can let it shape you. You can let it close your heart, or you can allow it to open your eyes. Pain can push you to your breaking point, but it can also push you to rise, to grow, to fight for a new version of yourself that you never knew existed. There is a powerful transformation that happens when you take your pain and use it as fuel, not to harm others or yourself, but to become better, stronger, wiser, more compassionate. You begin to realize that what hurt you didn't destroy you. It refined you. It revealed strengths you didn't know you had. So many of the world's most inspiring people have faced extraordinary pain. What sets them apart is not that they avoided suffering, but that they refused to be defined by it. Instead, they took their wounds and turned them into wisdom. They used their darkest days as the foundation for their brightest purpose. When you rise instead of surrendering to pain, you begin to reclaim control over your life. You stop being a victim of what happened, and you become the author of what comes next. That doesn't mean the pain disappears. It means it no longer controls you. It means you take what you've been through and use it to lift yourself and others higher. Pain also connects you to others in a powerful way. When you've walked through fire, you recognize the flames in someone else's eyes. Your story becomes a bridge, a source of comfort and strength to someone who may feel alone. Your scars become symbols not of defeat, but of survival. And that is powerful beyond measure. This doesn't mean you rush through the process. Healing takes time. Some pain stays with you for a long time. But choosing to rise doesn't require you to be over it or to never feel sadness again. It means you carry your pain with dignity and determination. It means you give yourself permission to feel and still move forward. Choosing to rise is a decision you make daily. It's not a one-time leap, it's a series of steps. Some days you may take big strides. Other days you may barely move. That's okay. What matters is that you're still trying, still rising, still turning pain into purpose. Remember this: there is strength in your story. There is power in your pain. You are not what happened to you. You are who you become because of it. And the strength you gain through rising can become the light that guides others out of their own darkness. So feel your pain, honor it, then use it not as a reason to stop, but as a reason to begin again, stronger than ever. Every person has a unique story the world meets. Quitting silences that story before it's told. Every human being on this planet has a story. Not just the one others see, but a deep, powerful personal story shaped by experiences, struggles, victories, losses, dreams, and moments of transformation. You have that story too. And it is not like anyone else's. Your story is entirely your own, and that makes it valuable. Too often, people underestimate the power of their journey. They compare themselves to others, thinking, my life isn't that interesting, or who would care what I've been through? But what you must understand is this: the world needs your voice, your perspective, your truth. Because somewhere, someone is fighting a battle that your story can speak directly to. Somewhere, someone is waiting for the exact words that only you can say. Quitting, not just giving up on a goal, but giving up on your growth, your vision. Your story's silence is a message that someone in this world may desperately need to hear. It shuts the door on the impact you were meant to have. And that impact isn't always grand or global. Sometimes it's one person, one heart, one life that is changed because you had the courage to keep going and to share your truth. We live in a world filled with noise, expectations, comparisons, doubts, and fear. It's easy to shrink back. It's easy to believe the lie that your voice doesn't matter. But the truth is this: your story matters because it is real. It matters because it reflects the complexity, beauty, and resilience of the human spirit. Some of the most powerful movements in history began not with the strongest voice, but with the most honest one. People who dared to share their pain, their recovery, their dreams, and their failures gave others permission to do the same. They are adding chapters to your story that someone else will one day draw strength from. Don't let those pages go unread. Even your quiet victories, waking up when everything inside you wants to hide, smiling through the pain, taking one small step forward, are parts of your story that deserve to be lived fully and shared boldly. And here's something else to consider: your story isn't only for others, it's also for you. It's the evidence that you've made it this far, that you've survived things you once thought you couldn't, that you're still here, still breathing, still capable of choosing growth over giving up. Each new chapter you write by refusing to quit is a reminder of your strength and your purpose. You may not have all the answers yet. Your journey may be filled with uncertainty, but that's okay. The value of your story doesn't lie in its perfection, it lies in its authenticity. What you've been through, what you're learning, and where you're going, it all matters. And quitting keeps that story untold. So when you feel like walking away from your dreams, your healing, your purpose, pause. Remember that the world needs your light. It needs your truth. Even if you speak quietly, even if you're still healing, even if you're still figuring it all out, your story has power. Don't let the world miss out on it. Don't let fear or failure close your voice. Your story could be the spark that lights someone else's way. And that alone is reason enough to keep going.